They're very close.
Yeah, I also got a 14, so it's fine. Yeah, that's how it works, right?
Hmm. Even though technically he should also roll another dice, but
I'll do the recap in a second. Kieran's on the phone still.
yes. Okay. While we wait, how is everybody? How are we doing? Someone do words.
We're not good. This is words.
I have fulfilled this contract. Words have been spoken. How are you anyway, Aaron?
Good. Yeah, nearly ready. Five weeks. 5 weeks today.
Oh.
Is the due date, so we shall see. Yeah, we're as ready as we can be.
Got cribs and all that fun bits, and have you got mobile numbers ready for emergency people?
For the maternity ward, for Emma's mom and dad, yes, all the numbers.
Hell yeah! God, fucking. I don't know how to word this well. It's weird to go from, like, obviously because we don't meet personally too often, because obviously life is a fucking giant bitch.
Yeah.
But going from, like, I don't know, like a year and a half ago, us meeting at Smashed or whatever, and you meeting my friend Scott and having a couple of drinks, to you and Emma now together, and us meeting at Rachel's wedding, and all that, and you having a kid, and life fucking really, like a car crash came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, I know. It really has, but it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited for you though. Your kid. You've got a kid.
I know.
It's so fucking weird and cool.
It is weird. It's very weird.
You're gonna be a daddy, and not even in the sexual way either anymore.
I know. Jake and Lee are gonna be so upset.
I mean,
what will they have to do now? Just be, somewhat respectable and be like, "Oh, you're a respectable father now, no longer a dad."
Yeah.
I mean,
but then Jake will just sneak by you and be like, "You'll always be a daddy in my eyes."
I mean, for starters, can we stop overusing this horrible word? Secondly, technically speaking, I'd say that makes you more of one, because it's that, how do you? It's like reverse psychology in a way. It's like, yeah, no, I'm just a dude. It's like, oh my god, you're now the best person ever.
Oh, I didn't realise that's the way that worked.
Yeah, it's because you can't act on the clear, aspect of fatherhood. It's a sly way of me saying the daddy word without saying it.
Oh, you want to say it?
Just.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rinse my mouth out with Pepsi.
Yeah, you go do that.
Yeah. It just emphasized the power. It didn't revoke it. It emphasized it.
Okay, well, and at least now I know.
Don't worry. You can't be any less of a shame in either of our eyes, even if you gave a damn, for choosing to... Oh god, I really wanted to say it in a really, not bad way, but a really dumb... I wanted to say breed, and I was just thinking like, oh, that's just... it's just cringe saying that. Yeah.
I was about to say...
But having a family, essentially.
Yeah. Kieran is going to leave.
Yes, I'll ask you about what you said before I was on the call, in like tomorrow or something. Once I've sorted this character out, and then I'll sort that thing out. I'll carry on with this for a bit, and then I will finish it tomorrow probably.
Nice. Toodle pip.
Okay, recappy.
So anyway, real quick, TLDR, Aaron, proud of you. Your kid's amazing.
He will be.
He will be.
He will be. He is. Yeah.
Remember what happened?
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Based on Lycoris's actions.
Back to Gustodon. Everyone did really intelligent, useful things except for Lycoris. Iltsamar broke up with Esatari, kind of.
Like, that's not how it went down. How dare you?
I mean, it is. It is. He was like, he let you down softly. And then Lycoris got really drunk and tried to set the building on fire. And Trafalgar jumped at the opportunity to set it on fire and joined in. And Esatari and Anessa fixed it. And then Trafalgar scared everyone away so we could have the house to ourselves. And that was kind of it. Everyone just went to bed at different parts of the day, other than Trafalgar, who went to hide in a room and talk to his invisible friend.
Yeah. Basically.
As far as we're concerned, invisible friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's true though. He was dumping her very gently. He was doing that thing like when high school students break before they go to uni and they're like, I mean, it's just like right person, wrong time, you know? Like,
I took it to be, okay, yeah, when we're both back home next summer, we can hook up again.
yeah, exactly. It's like,
Not
you know,
getting
like, you're the right person, but this is just the wrong time. We're gonna have to keep it casual till, you know, we're back in the same place, both like emotionally and career-wise.
I was gonna say, saying that in the sentence is, if we're both in the same place mentally, it's like, you might as well just say, yeah, I don't really, can we not do this anymore right now? I don't.
That's the vibes I got from Iltsamar.
Yeah.
It was like, we're breaking up because like this isn't. It's not that this isn't working. It's just that this isn't going to work because you're never around.
I mean, in fairness, it's more because she's leaving for another adventure.
Exactly, because she's never around.
It's like, I'm moving countries. Like, okay.
Yeah,
like, oh, great.
She's going on an adventure with a girl that has been enthusiastically simping for her since she met her.
And has been tentatively just watching her, not intentionally, flirt and collect a harem.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he's making friends with her.
Ah.
And they're not really friends, they're business partners.
Well, could be.
Well, I think he hopes for friends and Anessa's like business partner. But you'll never be anything more. And that's how we left it.
Yes. So, everybody, wherever you choose to be in the middle of the night, the front doors are locked, all the windows are closed, curtains are drawn, and when the morning comes along, each of you in your assorted beds, nice and comfortable, even though there is a slight, we'll call it a smell, and we won't specify what it is, but we all know what it is. This is a location that things happen in. So a very subtle smell is there, and considering the staff were not here to remedy that smell, you guys will wake up into the scent of it, with less alcohol in your system, a slight throbbing in the head of Lycoris. As you all wake up, the place hasn't been set on fire, luckily, in the middle of the night. You're all varying degrees of comfortable depending on where you slept. Those of you who actually slept in a bed will have slept very well. Those of you who had slept downstairs in one of the chairs will not have slept very well. You would have tossed and turned most of the night, but you will still have had a long rest and I will emphasize that word, the words, long rest. Everybody has a long rest. Recover all your shit.
Yay!
Once everybody starts to wake, you are awoken mostly to the smell of bacon wafting from where all of the liquor is kept, and of course where you know historically the kitchen is, or at least barrels and the like underneath. Jasper comes to a central table, places the food down, and kind of just crosses his arms and just waits a little bit, takes a little bites out of the bacon. Who would be very casually awoken by the smell?
I've been awake the whole time, just staring at the ceiling.
Okay.
Salva is not. He's in his little room.
You're the only one that slept on a bed. Everyone else slept on a chair.
Pretty much, looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
We kicked all those people out and then we didn't even use the room.
Yeah, that's what I said last time.
Well, I mean, you pretty much staked your claim to it, so it's only fair. You gave him enough money.
I'm just gonna go to the bar and pick up like a big jug of water and sit and just drink water.
Okay. As the rest of them gather around, picking up small pieces and kind of looking at each other, some people a little bit more fresh-faced than others. Small talk is made as everyone takes little bites. The two spy/merchant/informants have left at some point in the night. Some bits have been tidied up. A lot of the glassware that was out on the tables when you guys had taken over had been moved, put into the sinks to be cleaned. As you're all just enjoying the morning coming to, does anyone have anything specific they would like to do? Because as of the moment, everything's up in the air. You guys, you've defeated a great enemy. You have things that are calling for you. Some of you more so than others. But the world is yours. I can put you on a path, but that path is waiting for you outside. And until you take that first step, it is all yours. What do you guys want to do?
I don't care as long as it's away from here.
Is Luke
next to Lycoris?
Erin?
Is Lupule here?
No.
No, he said
No.
like, come find me if you need me or something like that, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay.
Because of the goings on with Vantress and you guys defeating her, and the inaugurating of a new king, shall we speak?
Yeah, because he kept having like messages, didn't he? He was stood there and he just kept getting messages.
He had 3 sendings in the span of 5 seconds. And he was like kind of looking at you guys weird, like he was trying to make sense of what was being said, also of what you guys were talking to him about. So he's going to be slightly busy.
Okay. So we need to go find him. Or we need to find somebody else that can get us to where Brewin is.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Iltsamar is the bookkeeper, right? He's a wizard. Is he powerful enough? Do we know?
You don't know for any certainty. He could be. You do know he has the capacity for I if I recall, it's around about 3rd level spells you've seen him use, like lightning bolt or something like that. You don't know if it extends further.
Okay. I guess at some point in the morning, when I've woken up, I will go and ask him.
You do hear at the door the sounds of knocking, and something gently being placed on the ground, and a scent wafting into the room. Then the sound of feet leaving down the hallway, down the stairs.
If that's you coming to apologise like Chorus, you can forget it. I'm not in the mood this morning.
I shudder from downstairs, sensing someone's talking about me.
Yes. That is the wish.
As you open the room, you kind of look around at first. There's no one there. And then you look down, you see a small plate of, what looks like 3 pieces of bacon that are still fairly warm. They're slightly cooled by this point, but there's enough warmth in it.
Oh, I just leave it. I'm not bothered by bacon right now.
Okay.
I got a little bit of a hangover from the drinking I was doing and getting up on stage.
Okay.
So I need some water.
As you come down the stairs, you notice along the side, Lycoris is holding a jug full of water and staring forward.
I'm just gonna put my hand out towards the jug and go, thanks, and then snatch it from her.
I don't want to give him my jug. It's my jug.
Strength/athletics check from the pair of you. Or in the case
Well,
of
this is-
Lycoris, acrobatics.
This is not fair. She had her hangover cured magically.
I didn't ask for that.
What
I cured
are
her
we?
of drunkenness and then she got drunk again.
Yeah, I
what?
have a second inflicted hangover.
Athletics.
When you're doing grapple checks, it's athletics versus their athletics or acrobatics.
Damn it, I did strength. Damn
Well,
it!
my 7 is useless.
Pretty much.
I stay holding on to my jug.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
There's a well outside.
No, I'm gonna find something stronger. You've annoyed me this morning. Already.
That's fine.
So
Mrs.
along
Murray, seeing this, would like to look if there is a couple of glasses nearby on the bar.
there are they look middling levels of clean, but
Yeah,
yeah, it'll do.
it'll do for them. Lycoris, may I pour you both a glass? She's gonna try and persuade very poorly.
I mean, I'll leave that up to you to decide, really.
Are the glasses in front of me?
They'd be kind of like mixed around the bar.
I'll take 2 glasses, one really big glass and one small glass, and I'll fill the really big glass up for me, and then I'll put like a tiny bit in the bottom of the really small glass, push it towards Trafalgar, and just pick up my big mug and walk away. Because if he's gonna be petty, I'm gonna be petty.
You're gonna be
You
petty,
were
yeah?
petty.
I'm gonna go stay outside.
You were very petty last night. That's the problem.
I'm gonna go get some more water from the well outside.
Just gonna grab whatever bottle of booze I could find.
Okay. The quickest one you get is what looks to be a fire wine, which very rough on the throat, but it'll get you there.
Oh no, I need something smoother than that in the morning.
Okay. There's a couple of gentle ales, and even a couple of ciders if you'd so choose.
Yeah, they sound fine.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go and sit next to Esatari and just say, well, thanks for trying. How's she been last night? After the The drunkenness.
Oh, there was more drunkenness, but no more fires.
No more fires.
That you know of.
She's after setting one right now.
I snuck out in the night when you were all asleep. The town is ablaze.
She somehow set the well on fire.
I'll come back in with another big bucket of water.
I'm gonna knock the little glass of water she left on the side onto the seat she was sitting in. Just to be really petty at this point.
It spills.
I'm just gonna ignore it, and I'm gonna go and do like the chores that need to be done before the people come back. Because now I am sober, I feel bad. So
Okay.
I'll just do all the chores I used to do, like emptying out the bedding and putting new bedding back in the rooms and that kind of stuff.
You as you're doing all that, some of the boys who live here, Jasper and the Light and Riel, they start to, kind of tidy around as well, doing small bits, picking up what little bits of glasses they can find and putting them in the sink and working between themselves to clean it all up. They leave you to do the stuff upstairs since you
They don't want to
yourself,
touch it.
yeah, you yourself kind of understand why. It's like, this place is used for activities.
I'm used to it.
Yeah. You can kind of like grimace through it, but not so much for them.
This is how I used to get my pocket money when I was younger. Literally. That's how I lived.
As you guys are cleaning up around yourselves, there's a gentle knock on the door itself. Does anyone go answer?
There's knocking on the door.
The main door.
It's not locked, is it? Nobody locked it last night. We just booted them out.
No, we did lock it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah.
Does anyone go answer?
Like Horace, would you like me to get that?
Do I hear the knocking from upstairs?
No, but you do hear her asking.
Sure.
And she was hoping for the other answer.
Nah, don't bother.
I mean, I will let the door upstairs is tidy anyway.
Like, would you like me to make the phone call? Oh dear.
So, as the door is opened, you see standing outside 3 figures, long black cloaks. Their faces are visible. They do have hoods on, but not enough to cover anything besides their hair and the backs of their necks. Dangling around their neck, they have the symbol of the Apex Faith. The one in the middle looks forward, doesn't seem to try to look past you or anything. Just says, "Hello, proprietor of the establishment. Sorry to bother you. There was an incident in town recently. We just came by to make sure everyone's fine here."
I'm just gonna look them up and down with disgust. And say, we don't need any help from the Apex Face. Thank you. And then just close the doors.
Okay. As you close the door, you feel it get shunted on something. And you notice there is what looks to be the end of a staff crammed between the door.
Can I fling the door open hard and hope it hits one of them?
Sure. Make a strength check.
Because I'm in a mood and they're pissing me off. Damn it!
Oh wow. So
Rollies?
hold on, because you're instig. Hold on, let me find who's technically the meat beat scenario here, because you're flinging the door to try and hit them. So yeah, I guess you meet.
I have the element of surprise.
That too. So the guy in the middle who's currently stood in front of you, he seems to have his staff placed in between the door. He's just looking at you and he goes, "I just wanted to," and then poof, the door just slams against him and he's knocked back 5 feet onto the ground. And take 2 points of damage.
I'm just gonna say, what do you want? As I was flinging the door open, I've flicked my hood up, so if I want to use the intimidation, I can.
Okay. You see as he's on the ground looking up at you, he's like holding his nose and he's just I just wanted to check up on. You see he's like he's like tilting his head back a little bit, you see little bits of blood.
I feel no guilt at all.
You seem to have a problem with the apex, I take it.
Clearly, why are you still here?
I'm sort of duty bound to find out what the problem is.
There is no problem.
You see the two at his left and right are kind of just looking over at you, and the one at the left is like gently placing the hand on his shoulder, and you see he's casting what looks to be like healing word, and the guy's nose just kind of like clicks, and then he just says, "Oh, jeez, thank you."
I can assure you, if there's any problem, we are more than equipped to deal with it. I'm just gonna sort of like put my hand on my hip so you can see the massive fuck off sword on my waist.
Are you casting that on Lycoris?
All of them.
Fair. Okay.
This is me being calm.
Range, blah, blah, blah. Creature choose fails. Which creature fails? Make an.
Fuck, charisma saves. I'm shit at charisma.
Obviously, you make a charisma save. Sorry, make a wisdom check.
Wisdom check.
Make it an insight, to be specific.
I don't know how to read.
I was selected to lead, not to read.
When you cast the spell, you know the radius bursts outward, and you get kind of a hint on how many creatures are actually affected by it. You only affect Chorus. The others don't. It's not like the spell's not taking effect or they've succeeded. It doesn't affect them at all. They seem kind of immune or impervious to it. Just to let you know.
Did I fail?
Estatari, what is your save? DC.
17. Fuck, I failed.
You failed. You are calmed.
That was me already moderately calm.
Less angered, I guess.
Now I'm just very irritated, and I can be just as petty when I'm irritated.
So, the guy slowly stands up, looks at you and just says, I understand there has recently been sects that have been part of this area of my... He looks down for a second. My faith, that have harbored ill will to people here. I wanted to extend understanding that that isn't what we are, that they are just false followers of what we intend. I'm understanding clearly you have been wronged by them.
We have not got on well in the past.
Yes.
But it's obviously very nice of you that you're here checking up on the citizens.
I'm gonna look slightly incredulously at Esatari like, you're buying this bullshit? I don't say that out loud, but I'm thinking it very plainly on my face.
She reads your mind, it's like, how dare you?
But we are all fine. We're old acquaintances that have managed to meet up after the fighting. And we've just been resting for the night.
We also don't actually live here, and we're not the proprietor, so...
But we know them. We're not intruding.
It did seem a little quieter than normal. Um, okay, I will be rather slightly more honest. I'd assumed the place was taken over, so I felt I had to come and check that the citizens were okay. This place has been assaulted recently by the dead.
The proprietor has gone on a extended trip,
Sabbatical.
but her staff still work here, and everything is fine.
We have just been taking lodgings here for the night. Other than that, there have been no issues. Thank you so much for checking in on us, though.
The middle one nods and gently holds the symbol against his chest, does a small bow, which just his head, and says, I won't hold you any further. Thank you for clearing things up. And for whatever my people have done, I'm horribly sorry. They take steps back, keeping gaze with you, and then they say, may the light of the coming gods guide you. And then they walk away.
I will reach past Lycoris and close the door again.
I'm going to glare. Just in general. Not specifically at Esatari, because I know it will probably make her cry. And then I'll be in even more trouble. So I'm just gonna stomp back to what I was already doing.
Estari will just sigh and go back to the others. So, we need to make plans on how we are going to leave here, do we not?
So, unless the question is directed exactly towards Vanessa, who probably won't know the answer anyway, I'm going to remain silent for a little bit. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
I'm just gonna go back to doing what I was already doing. I'm ignoring that we have to do anything right now.
Then Trafalgar.
I am gonna. I don't want to say irritate Lycoris, but I'm definitely gonna irritate her. I'm gonna just go over and just say, so you're gonna tell us exactly what happened last night? We saw the letter, but you got to explain it to us. Why it got you like that?
Alcohol.
Just the booze. No underlying feelings that you've been suppressing for years.
No.
Bullshit. You were like this when we were contemplating breaking the deal that you have to keep your immortality. So there's definitely more. You owe Esatari answers.
No, I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm gonna just lean against this table and stare him out passive aggressively from across the room because I know it's gonna piss him off.
Oh, let's. How do we do staring contest?
Perception check, see who lasts longest.
Oh no.
Let me just make sure. Let me just make sure I got it ticked, because if I've not, I can change that after a long rest. Oh, I do. Ah,
Wah wah.
she's got that stupid hood on.
I know, I'm very scary with the hood up.
So, after a couple of seconds just staring hatefully into each other's eyes, you have to break it away by almost force as a pseudo magical effect starts to run against you, and it's almost like cheating, really.
So what's
Keep
the
your
plan?
secrets. Well, the plan is as it was before, I think, right, Nessa Satari? We go find Brewin.
Yeah.
We're done checking up here.
I mean, ideally, Lupula could transport us there, but when I was speaking to him yesterday, he didn't offer and said he was very busy. So I don't know if we can rely on that.
What
I
about
hate
Iltmar?
to ask it like Chorus, but would maybe your family have ships left here?
I
What about
wouldn't.
Iltmar?
No.
He's here. He's a wizard.
So, he, at the table, just raises an eyebrow. You, think I'm capable of transmission?
I haven't got a clue. I literally
Unfortunately, no.
haven't got a clue.
That is, something beyond my ken as of the moment.
At least he thinks better of you than expected.
From what little I've heard of him, yes, that's actually quite a compliment.
Can I just look over Kier and Anriel and look how rough they're looking?
Yeah, go ahead. Make a insight or perception. Anriel looks fine, kind of rosy red, so to speak. He looks about as much as you remember him. He's got a couple of extra little cuts and scars and the like, but he's still him, really. Kira, on the other hand, he's still kind of a little paler than you remember him being. Not as bad as he was last night, if that can be quantified, really. But you think that might have been more to do with excess booze and the fight recently, but it's kind of unclear. But he's still extremely quiet, and you still can't see either of them with the weapon.
Tari will speak to Jasper.
Okay.
While everyone else is talking, I'm just going to see if I can get Anriel's like eye contact with Anriel.
And he'll very quickly like stare back, raised eyebrow.
I'll just move my head to say like, come here for a sec.
Okay. So of course he'll inevitably go over to you. Esatari, what do you say to Jasper?
Do you know of any kind of transportation services or anything such like that in the city? Being a local and all, we would like to get to Gustodon not Gustodon, Janasta as quickly as possible.
Well, that's kind of rough. What with everything that happened, not even a day ago, really. I think a boat will be your best bet. Obviously, you can't travel across land, and anyone that's capable of large-scale magical movement, I don't think I can send you to. The place is kind of a mess. You might even be waiting a while for that boat to. There's a lot of people tried to escape and get out of Dodge while they could. So I think a lot of people just abandoned Stun. But there's not really many other ways to get there from here. So find someone who's a good spellcaster, or I hope someone's still got a ship left, because I honestly can't think of anything else.
Yes, would you recommend hiring a private boat if possible, if
Oh, absolutely.
General transport is gone? Or a good spellcaster?
Well, there was... I don't know if he's still around, but there used to be a crotchety old man on the... around about the southeast side of Gustodon. You'd have to kind of journey to find him, but it would be in line with your direction. He owns this small shack that's out by the water, and he has a... It's a skiff, essentially. But it can go to and fro for long journeys. It wouldn't be comfortable, but it'd get you where you need. And he typically doesn't ask for much. I think it's more... I think it's more like he needs people to help keep him safe on the journey there, because he likes to collect fish along the way, or something like that. He's weird. He talks a lot as well, so get ready for that.
Thank you, that sounds at least a possible avenue for us.
He grabs the party map and just kind of like draws a little squiggle where he remembers his hut being. Lagoris, what do you say to Unreal?
I'm just gonna very quietly say, did you sort the thing with the scythe? No, are you gonna be alright left to your own devices?
He just stares you in the eyes and kind of like makes a very small head motion backwards towards Kier. He's been a little odd, but we'll be alright. I don't exactly know what it is, but the longer that I'm around him with the scythe, the weirder his form. I don't know what it is. He's having some weird reaction.
Has he told you that the scythe was basically his blood right?
Oh yeah, no, he hasn't. He didn't shut up about it, and then that whole thing with his skin he started going pale and wasn't as talkative anymore. We've taken him to see a cleric, but they just said it's a curse that they can't deal with. They've removed curse on him, but apparently it's still active. I know why, sort of. Alright, it's more of an assumption, but I think it's because I'm pacted. He's taking on the effects I should be taking.
Maybe speak to Lupola about it. He has a lot of arcane resources at his disposal, and his freak of a sister no doubt would be incredibly interested in helping you out just for the sake of her ego.
I'll keep that in mind. I'm not sure I look forward to that one, but
Might be the easiest option. She's an annoying little madam, but she seems to know what she's doing.
Well, it's either that, or we do the thing I was gonna do and travel to Yornima and find whatever's doing this. But yeah, no, that sounds slightly easier. I'll take you up on that.
If that doesn't work, just ask Freed about Roderick. He's currently the ruler of the Yornima, so his resources would be helpful as well.
He's got a slightly raised eyebrow. Kind of glad you didn't fall on that blade, by the way.
Meh. I was just gonna shrug.
He stares at you for a second, and you see his hand, like, it leads over toward yours. You quite clearly see his hand about to touch yours. Do you do anything about that?
I don't know.
Indecision is a decision. So, his hand very gently palms on the top of yours, and he just looks at you, a half smile at the corner of his mouth, and then he stands up, takes his hand away. I need a drink. And then he leans over the bar, pulls 2 glasses out, freshly cleaned, and just finds the nearest drink.
You said freshly clean. I'm just thinking Esatari being like, what is this witchcraft? They're clean.
There were clean ones.
Yeah, they were cleaning them. And yeah, pours the pair of you just a casual shitty ale. So, is there anything anyone else would like to do?
I'm just gonna ask Esatari. Well, I'm gonna say to Esatari, I don't think I like the idea of relying on an old man that needs help, because helping people hasn't done a great deal for us recently.
What's Esatari's passive?
18.
Oh shit. I mean, yeah, to be honest, yeah. You would.
Given her interest in romance.
She's like, I'm gonna write about this in my diary later.
Her eyes lingered.
You just as you're over with the others, talking with Jasper, you kind of like in the corner of your eye see that they're leaning for something, and then you see the hand move along the table, and your eyes kind of like, you're just like staring almost for a second. You're trying to not make it obvious so no one else is like immediately like, ooh, they're doing a thing, and ruin the moment. But you're kind of just like corner of your eye just looking, and you see their hands touch.
This is K-drama shit, man.
So that's perfect.
I'm gonna dig through my cloak and just pull out the thing that my mother gave me that lets me communicate with the family. Is it the soul bell? I ring the bell and then some butler arrives and I give him a note and he takes it straight back to the family.
Yeah.
Am I going crazy?
That does.
She gave me some way to contact her.
Hold on. Yeah, you can cast Unseen Servant once a day.
Okay.
The Unseen Servant would then technically count as a mailed message cantrip as well. The way it basically worked would be you ring the bell, the servant is summoned to you, hands you a piece of parchment. Well, to be fair, this is literally what happens as you ring the bell. You pull out the bell and ring it. There is no chiming. though you can see on the inside of the bell, it's hollowed out in the middle. But you can see what looks to be this like little ringer that drops down and starts to gently bat the sides, but no sound has emanated. And then a second later, nobody else sees it, but you see what is literally just a see-through creature that's got this light blue hue in the top half of a humanoid shape with what looks to be a full suit and tie of the upper half of the body, and the illusory hand holds out a piece of parchment.
Okay. I'm gonna take the parchment. I'm just gonna look dead inside over Esatari and say, I can call in one more favor. How would you like me to... What exactly would you like me to ask Lady Devane?
You've gone faster on this than I was expecting. We could still ask Looper if he can transport us. I just think he's probably too busy. You don't want to see the old man. Where exactly do we need to get to in Janasta? I don't remember.
Lupula told us the exact location.
Okay, so that is the thing that's on the map. Yeah, I wondered why it was there.
So
I just see if we can get a fast ship to transport us there. I don't know. What resources does your family have? You know better than me.
I don't really know. I'm not privy to that information. Iltsamar, do you know what resources that the Devane family have at their disposal?
Well, at the very least, they have quite an absurd amount of money and control over the upper district, so in terms of vessels, merchant or otherwise, they're a good bet. I don't know the inner workings, but if you can get something from them without repercussions, that's really lucky.
Well, worst comes to worst, we could always ask Sefton for a favor. But
does it take to travel by ship to where we need to go?
I'm sure Trafalgar told us that, because he had the ship planned originally that we didn't take, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's from there. Trafalgar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it 2 weeks to get there, or was it a week? I don't remember.
2 weeks.
Yeah. It was like 10 days if it's really good. Something like that.
So if we can, we need to get a magical way of being there, because we know that Brewin is at Windbar Pass now, but we don't know where he's going to be in 2 weeks. And we can't bring Lupula along with us to scry on him again.
Not to mention...
And we don't...
Sorry, go ahead.
We don't know what he's going to look like either. That's the thing.
Between Anessa and Jonathan, if he is alive again in his tower, have any way that they could either expedite the ship or travel us by a different means?
To get back to Jonathan, we'd have to go back towards the Yornama again, though.
Yeah, but doesn't Anessa have connections with him without visiting him?
She technically does not. She, to be fair as well, she has actually said at one point, the entire time she's not heard a word from him besides when you saw him in the suit of armor.
Yeah. But that could have been by choice on his part.
Okay, I'm gonna start drafting a little message. How do you write a polite message?
Immediately passes it to Esatari immediately.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I suppose we should start by asking that they're okay and nobody was injured in the attack. That we're okay except for one casualty. I suppose.
Already very believable. Carry
on. Ask if they have the arcane means to transport us to Janasta as soon as possible. Preferably not by boat, because that will take too long. And that I'll be out of their hair, so they don't need to worry about seeing me again.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say, and ask about, actually, ask if there's any news of Ishkari and the person who was protecting him.
The trapple.
But I'm trying not to say that because I know that if I say that, Etatara is going to be like... But yeah, I just say, here's all the points I want you to cover. Now write that in a nice letter that isn't going to be like mine would be like, Mother, hope you're not dead. Give me passage to Janasta. Thanks, bye.
Okay. So, in the politer way, but still featuring a lot of the energy like Oris gives, on her behalf, you write down on this piece of parchment, or well, to be more specific, you tell her the words to use, and the words that you think appear on the mailed message, the parchment. The entity holding it, you see as you think of the words, they appear on the page.
I'm also gonna say, if you don't have the means to transport us quickly, can I still get to Sefton the way I got there last time?
Okay.
Or is there a different way to contact him?
Make me a wisdom check.
Oh no. It's another thing I'm not great at. Ooh!
Tari, give me a wisdom check as well.
Sorry?
Wisdom check, please. So, Esatari, there is, as the message is being thought out, and you see Lycoris talking with you about what to think of, what words to think to appear on the page, and she says Sefton, or thinks the words Sefton onto the page, and there's this weird sensation that runs across your back for a second, and it's almost like someone's got eyes on your back, and you feel an instinct to turn around. In the case of you, Lycoris, you get that same sensation, but as you feel it, it feels more like something in front of you. And you kind of look behind the Satari as well, and in the corner of the room where a shadow is collected from one of the staircases blocking view of the sun, you see what looks to be like little sparkle of red that fades just as it appears. You then see as the parchment finishes and the mailed message is sent, it scrunches into a ball in the hands of the unseen servant, and the creature fades like smoke. You have advantage on wisdom saves. I mean, it'll be appropriate one day.
It's always the wrong thing.
As the creature disappears, you guys are sat there for a second, waiting. The weird glimmer in the shadow had faded more or less as soon as you saw it. But now there's this weird sensation along the pair of you's backs of someone watching you. You can't quite explain what it is.
Can I just start talking?
What do you say?
Hello. If Uriah Septon is watching, we need transport to Windbar Pass in Janasta as quickly as possible.
Okay.
I'm just gonna look at Esatari, like, just to double check that I'm not the only one that's going slightly crazy and feeling like someone's watching us.
Sorry, just kind of like glancing round the corner. Like,
Okay. So, as you say all of that, there's the glimmer of red in that shadow again underneath the stairs. And you see what looks to be some of the shadow moves out into a hand, a clawed hand, a very small clawed hand. And then another glimmer of red to form eyes. And then another hand gently claws its way out. And then it slowly raises. You see the shadows actually physically stand and then drape off of an imp. You see this imp, unlike if ever any of your characters would have ever seen an imp. This one, same size, it's a tiny creature. The wings are seemingly more leathery than you'd expect, and they're slightly bigger. They flap once every couple of seconds. Seemingly it doesn't even need the wings to fly, but it does it out of habit. It holds its hands forward like a T-Rex, like it's got very small arms, and its claws are out, and it just kind of looks over toward you. It's got a very long nose, and it tilts its head slightly. The eyes are very bright red. It has a lot of black veins, and it looks over toward you, its head tilted. And then the eyes flicker from the bright red to a regular black. Its head then turns normal. It looks at you. Its hands stop being as stiffened and claw-like, and it moves them downwards toward its side. You see the wing flaps get a little bit faster, as if to maintain its actual flight. I have been summoned by you. The master would like to know where you are going.
Windbar Pass in Janasta.
You see his head kind of nods a little bit. It moves its little hands up and seems to form a circle with its hands as if it's grasping a ball. And you see the claws fully create this shape between its hands. And as it's doing that, you see this little spark of fire flick between its hands and create a scroll. It then lightly grasps the scroll from the air, and you see it's hovering just above the shadow. It turns, looks down toward the shadow, then looks over toward you. It holds the scroll outward toward you. That is acceptable.
What is acceptable, or it is acceptable?
That is acceptable.
Okay, I'm gonna walk towards the imp and just take the scroll.
As you take the scroll out of its hand, it returns to that form you saw in at the start, the hands curled, the eyes turning bloody bright red. I hope this will ease your journey. Don't be a stranger. And then the imp almost like melts. It falls into blackness. Its whole form, just like liquid, turns black, drops into the shadow and disappears.
Can I look at the scroll?
Okay. Firstly, you see it is stamped with what looks to be the symbol of a large tree with what looks to be a small person of some kind down bowing in front of the tree.
The brain tree.
Yep. At the top of the tree itself, it does look to be like some kind of like pulsing brain of some kind that's covered by roots and vines. As you peel that off the watermark, you open it up. It seems to be a spell scroll of some kind. It's got arcane writing on it. You're not exactly a practitioner, so you couldn't say for certain what it is.
I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna give it to just gonna turn around and show it to Anessa.
Okay.
Because she knows magic things.
Not to mention she knows scrolls. Takes it from you, like unfolds it along the table, just kind of looks at it, and she's got this kind of like face of slight irritation. Not because it's not what you guys thought, but the look gives you that kind of, fuck these people. This is good quality, and she's slightly aggravated because it's been a while since she's actually been able to make a scroll herself. And she says,
And I just pulled one out of the familial ties.
Yeah.
Nepotism.
It's not fair. I want to be able to make more scrolls like this. Are you sure we can't keep it?
What does it do?
Oh, scroll of teleportation. It's been altered a little bit, though. She kind of like points to the middle of the scroll, and you see what, for loose remembrance of scrolls you've seen before, the center of the scroll is usually empty or has some kind of small watermark or sigil in the middle. In the case of this one, the middle has what looks to be like a little dot in the center with a series of spreading outward veins leading toward the runic circle at the edge of the paper. They've kind of messed with this one. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, though.
How does Anessa's scroll copying thing work? Does it consume the original scroll?
Yes.
I think so.
Ugh.
It takes several hours. She can copy whatever the scroll is and make copies. And yes, I said copies.
But we don't know if by doing that they've edited it maybe so that can't be done.
Or
And then
it's
we
weird.
lose it.
Yeah. Just thought I'd check.
Yes.
I guess if it makes you feel better, we could wait a bit longer and see if Lady Devane answers.
She'll nod. Boop. Okay, so as you guys are waiting a couple more minutes, she's looking over the scroll, trying to figure out if, like you said, it could be edited or not. After a couple of minutes, a unseen servant appears again with a message in hand. It holds it forward. On it says that Ishkari and his bodyguard are fine. They're currently at the manor. Trapper looks a little bit worse for wear, and he has been unconscious for a few days, but he is alive. Ishkari's got a couple of scrapes, but nothing that they couldn't mend. The family is fine, and you get with the undertone of the writing that it's saying it in that kind of "but you weren't here to help" kind of way.
Oh, great. Okay.
But otherwise, you see at the bottom of it what looks to be like a set of weird writing. It's words organized in a way that looks like it's supposed to mean something else. It's like someone's literally wrote good, bye, happiness, cats, TLDR. Like it's a really weird set of words that's put at the bottom of the page. And then signed by your mother dearest. What languages do you have?
I have Vampiric, Elven, Common, and Thieves.
Ah, you're good then. It's in Thieves. So it's structured in the way that every first and third letters are organised to actually be the words you're looking at instead of, the full things.
Okay.
And it essentially says, I have a merchant vessel if you need it. Come to the manor.
I will relay this to Vanessa and Esatari. And Trafalgar. I just assume Trafalgar is like brooding, though.
So the current routes we have been offered so far today is Old Man Boat,
A merchant vessel.
a merchant vessel by your mummy, and a scroll by an imp. I was just hoping for one form of transport.
I mean, it might be prudent to see what the merchant vessel, the speed and the opportunities.
Would Anessa have any kind of wind or water affecting spells that would increase the speed of a vessel?
I believe she does. Just checking real quick. Surprisingly, she does not.
Gasp.
Though to be fair, actually no way. Yeah, she's literally got 2 sheets because she has that many spells.
I know, that's why I thought she must have something.
We'll go with a preemptive yes under the assumption with her massive spell list she does.
I mean, we can go up to the manor and see about the boat. Give Anessa some more time to look at the scroll.
Would you like to check in on Ishkari and the Trapper?
I was just saying it to give Anessa some more time to look at the scroll. Can I make a deception check to see if she believes me?
I mean, and an insight in return, though. Yeah. I mean, bare bones, bare minimum. She sees through that without even trying.
Is that only Esatari or is it everyone? Please don't say everyone sees my weakness.
I mean, you made it that obvious, to be fair. Even with a passive insight, everyone would just be kind of like, yeah, we understand. We know.
I'm gonna try and like justify it to Esatari and just like, like, cause it's like your sibling,
Well, I was planning on checking on him anyway. I've been worried.
That's fine then. Cool.
Really, it's for my own peace of mind.
Oh, okay then. We can go if it will make you feel better, Esatari.
Thank you so much. I was worried about suggesting it given your family issues, but I'm so glad you're willing to put up with it for me.
I've just realised, did Kier and Anriel already know that we're the links with the Devanes, right?
honestly don't remember. I don't think so, because you guys weren't.
Oh fuck.
They weren't involved with you when you went to see them.
What?
Oops.
Shanties for the bitch queen. What?
I'm gonna turn to Kier and Anriel and just say, I realise you weren't aware of my familial link with the Devanes. It's not meant to be common knowledge, so if you could just keep that under wraps, that would be great.
They're both looking at you with a kind of, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, being a bitch runs in the family, I'm afraid. I say that out loud, not in my head.
Okay. Hey Connor.
Hello.
Where were you last we checked? All I vaguely remember is you were with your man outside of a village.
That's the funny thing.
You had seen a vision of something horrible.
Great evil.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to go home after that? Because he did say that it is your responsibility essentially to help them if it should happen.
Pretty much. I remember everything, which is quite crazy. Long story short, basically what happened was, had the vision, things happened, I explained, it's not going to be safe here, we should maybe leave, because my being here will put the village in trouble, and that's when he was like, oh, I don't really remember raising a coward, but I'm going to stay, and you can feel free to go elsewhere. But you should stay and fight like a man, because it's how I raised you, and blah blah blah. And then it was like, fine, I want to try something, because I'm not sure if my magic has, well, magic seems to be on the fritz. Thought of Star Sundera, and bam, Star Sundera was summoned, and that more or less gave Brewin the confidence that something works, and everything else will probably, well, new hope has been found, and well, he was like, okay, this has pepped me up, you know what, turns around, let's go for a drink, and that's where we ended it. Because Brewin was inspired with a newfound confidence that things perhaps will work out slightly better.
Yes.
And he will help defend. So, yeah, that's where we left off. Went to get a drink, and that's where we left off.
Okay. So, as you, Lance, and Merrick head into town, I will move you to town.
You're gonna it's
Take it to town. Obviously, everyone can see the map. Enjoy. Yeah. Welcome to a little village. Let me remember the name. Erda is the name of the village. ERDDA. A little thing on the outskirts of your family's owned, possessed land, private land. It's been settled here for a good maybe 70 years, maybe less. They've always treated your family with respect, and you've always treated them the same. Your father can be a bit heavy-handed when they set foot on private land,
Sorry.
but otherwise, yeah, it's just a nice little place. I'll move you guys to a watering hole over here. So as you walk in with Merrick hobbling slowly behind and Lance, as you walk in, you're greeted by a half-orc at the counter, the side. looking over toward you. They've grabbed a couple of glasses out already, placed them down in front of themselves, and you see that they have an eye patch. And as they're looking at you, they don't immediately say hi, they don't greet you or anything, they just look at you, wait, and give you kind of a small nod of like a degree of respect. There looks to be some kind of face of knowing there, though. It's just kind of like stares. Obviously you're getting a drink, but what do you want to do? If you are available to speak. Ba ba ba. Ba. Ba ba ba. Ba. Ba ba ba. Ha ba 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 ba.
It's like a calling card. I have to do it if you do it.
Literally, it's infectious. It's like yawning. You just can't help it if you hear it.
Bouncing off each other's gobbling energies. I have returned.
Hey,
Right, I have. I give a sort of like a look back as he gives me a knowing look and just a simple nod and just drink.
so they kind of look at you. The drinks on the side are just gentle ales, it looks like. As you grab...
But the thing is, I didn't even sort of like ask what sort of drink. They sort of seem to know my regular, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
They seem to have given the same to both Lance and Merrick, though they don't look the same at them as they do to you.
Fair enough.
So you've come back, have you? Tell me, how did you fare?
I raise an eyebrow.
With that young lass you took away?
Yeah. Well, let's just say a lot of things happened, and well, gentlemen shouldn't always kiss and tell, right?
Shakes her head slightly. Aye, well anyway. Gave her a nice night by the sound of it. So I guess drinks are on me for now. Just keep it in your pants for today, would ya? I got possibly an important little man coming by. Get some.
I sort of
ale.
look to myself and I look to my company. I just say, I'm not exactly I'm not exactly here for pleasure. I'm my own business.
As the other two kind of like walk in, look around. She raises an eyebrow. You brought your She looks around at the rest of the patrons for a second, who are minding their own business. And then she looks back at you. You brought your friend. Looks at Lance. With you this time. That's new.
Of course, certain things have arisen, and he is to be with me a majority of the time.
Alright then. Anyway, you know the rules. If you start a fight, I'm throwing you out the window. Yeah, you can take any seat you want. Just keep out of the way of everybody else. And drinks will be back over to your table in a minute.
I sort of give a sort of like a half smirk smile and just ask. Of course, but what if the fight comes to me? Yet I do everything I can to avoid it.
Well then you're a fucking idiot. I'll throw you both out. Throw the first punch or, throw the second. Your choice. Either way, I'm throwing someone out.
Well, I'll do my best to make sure you throw someone else out rather than me.
Anyway, shut up. I've got some food to make. Get to it.
I sort of raise my eyebrows with a sort of like a smile of like, okay then, and just grab my drink.
Yeah, and you see she moves to the left. There's this small tray of like. Oh yes.
Shut up, Rach.
Moves to the left is like carving into a chicken. Pick a table.
Well, let's see. I suppose I'll pick that one.
So as you all wander over, you notice on the tables, or at least this table anyway, there is what looks to be sets of playing cards. Oh, he is absolutely shirtless. Like, his token is literally. The pre-win style. Yeah, you've got sets of playing cards on the table. On the map underneath you, on the wall, there is what looks to be a boar's head mantled on the wall, and there is a fireplace directly underneath that is gently lit at the minute to match the slightly cold nature of outside's winds. The three of you are there for like barely even a minute, and someone walks over, places down 3 light ales in front of you, gives a kind of little nod, doesn't say anything, she minds her own business, walks over, grabs a couple more drinks ready for the next table. Lance is like looking around the room just with, you know, like real intention. He's like inspecting everything like of curiosity. Well, this place is your usual haunt. It's not bad actually. It looks really nice. There's a couple of cobwebs and they could do with a clean, but I mean, all in all, that's not the worst.
Well, looking at things, I must assume. Well, you know, my own. Well, I sort of say that, and I sort of look very awkwardly, and I'm like, "Oh, Cliff had taste, it seems. So, yeah, his character. Let's just say that."
Merrick crossed arms, like every now and again taking a small swig of the ale, and you can see on his face he's used to stuff that's much heartier, especially with him being a dwarf. He just kind of like, he just drinks it for the sake of drinking something, but he's not enjoying himself.
I sort of look to Merrick as he's doing that and just says, I see, with age you've still kept your somewhat childish candour about you.
His eyes glance over toward you. And with your age, you've grown some stones to talk to me like that.
Well, with the encounters I've had, I would at least like to say it's somewhat broadened my horizons.
Well, I'm not gonna hold it against you and expect you to stop. But you'll get one a day. Anything more than that and I'll replicate my kneecaps on your kneecaps.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Why? It's a new body. I might as well fuck you up a little bit. Break you back in.
No, I mean it's not good for your knee.
Shakes his head a little.
I sort of return a little cheeky half smile.
Lance is like looking at this interaction between the two of you, not sure if you're being threatened or not, and then when you kind of like smile, he just like looks between you again with a slightly raised eyebrow. Doesn't say anything to the fact. Merrick just kind of stares at him for a second. So, why exactly is this wee old man your attendant, and why is he even with us? He ain't gonna be able to help in a battle. He'd be a detriment.
Well, I think he's with me for the sake of insurance, if you will. Because I sort of like very awkwardly sort of jump. You could see it in Brewin's face. He's really trying to think of how to word this. insurance for father's sake. That feels weird to say. That at least someone in his, pretty much who he's hired to look out for me is actually with me, and is probably one of the other reasons why he's probably agreed for me to travel with you.
He
And Bruin sort of shrugs as he's saying this. Plus, he helps with filling in the blanks when it comes to trying to think of things from my previous life.
I'm just going to be choking for a second.
Know, that's fine, I'll just fill in the silence.
Yep,
Well,
I'm going to mute myself.
as you know him as, as you know him as, Cliff. So to that degree, I'd say he is a very well-versed travel companion, good company. Plus I know for a fact he's not going to try and break my ribs.
Ooh, I think I'm finished choking. Anyway. Ooh. Who were you talking about? I only really caught the tail end of that.
I was talking about Lance, Merrick.
Yep.
And basically implying that he is good company, well-versed, conversationalist, and he's not going to be attempting to break my ribs, and that's a subtle hint at a certain someone. Oh,
indeed.
Go out the door, go back.
Yep. Okay. What's everybody else doing at the minute?
I assumed we were gonna set off to the manor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy to set off. Are we parting ways with everyone else in the tavern?
I mean, I guess they can come to. I know that Kier and Anriel wanted to go speak to Lupula anyway, so it would be the same direction.
To be fair, if they want to get to Lupula, you guys are the only way that they can get into the upper city.
But they're gonna have to come with us then, I guess.
I'll just say goodbye to Jasper and I forgot his name. I'm so bad.
Kira, Unreal, Iltsama.
Kira, there we go. My boyfriend.
Your on and off again hometown boyfriend.
Yeah. So if they're not coming with us, I want to say goodbye to them.
Your uptown boy.
I think Kier and Anriel.
He's my low town boy.
But when you come back, he might be an uptown boy, depending on how his business ventures go.
True. But also, like, even Jasper has helped us out consistently. So you know, I don't want to just be like.
I feel like every time you guys have encountered Jasper, there's been a fight that he really didn't need to be involved in.
Yeah, he just keeps helping when he didn't need to.
There was the brawl outside where the Apex first tried to take Brewin, and he was there. He was just like, "Oh fuck!" And he was just like, "Well, I'm here now," and you guys were just like, "Okay, well, we're going.
And then,
Bye."
And then we all turned invisible.
He survived that, and then there was the zombies, and then there was other, fights in the middle of town.
Wasn't there the art exhibit?
Yeah, he was at the art exhibit as well.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that if he's not coming with us, I am going to say goodbye and thank you.
And he will respond in kind. Not entirely sure what you're thanking him for. Evident on his face. But he, just says goodbye. And gives you a little hug if you're accepting of it.
Yeah.
It's one of those...
I am not.
Well, yeah, no, he doesn't even try with you. He just kind of looks at you and gives you a distant nod.
I got the bro nod.
As he goes in for the hug, he's like, cinnamon. Smells like cinnamon.
She smells like the sunset.
She smells like
Smells
lilac.
like sunshine.
Be right back real quick.
while we're walking, I'm gonna have to grab like an Esatari and just be like, can you just look at this and see if it's fake? About my little photo that I found in Orlin's room. I'm not showing Trafalgar because he'll take the piss out of me.
Yeah. Yeah, he will.
Or he'll say the complete opposite just to spite me.
I was gonna say.
Like Horus having feelings is weird.
Like Horus has too many feelings right now.
Nice clothes. It was like you were a rich person in your past life. Ha!
You look almost happy.
Gooseberries.
I didn't realise you had a soul.
What is
Well,
a
there are
soul?
multiple.
Yeah, I was just saying, as we start walking up,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna like discreetly pull Anessa and Esatari aside
Mhm.
and pass them the photo I found in Orlin's room and ask them if it looks like it's been doctored.
Okay. Esatari, give me. Although to
There's
be
multiple.
to be fair
I feel
again,
like
just as a reminder, because phones and cameras don't exist in this world yet.
yeah, it's a
Technically,
painting.
It's a painting.
Yeah.
But in terms of when it was made, if it would line up in terms of the years, Esatari, give me a investigation or perception check, and I will do one for Anessa.
I mean, I asked Esatari because I feel like she has an accurate idea of what a happy person should look like.
I was gonna say, like, I was thinking it could be Arcana or Perception or Investigation.
Make a
It's
happy
just like-
check.
Roll for feelings.
Um,
I'm gonna go for, I guess, Perception. Could I do Perception and Arcana, or do I have to pick one?
it's unrelated to Arcana unless it has some kind of magical difference.
Well, that's the thing, like,
But-
if it's fake, how's it fake?
I mean, yeah, you could do both if you wanna. To be fair, you'd have enough time to examine it. So,
middling of both.
in terms of Arcana, like even if you'd like flashed your Fey eyes, you don't see anything different. Looking it over, I mean, you've got spells and stuff if you want to do any of that. But looking it over, you don't. It doesn't look like anything's drifting off of it. There's nothing that really sparks a look. In terms of what you see based on perception, it looks pretty old. The edges are like rough and worn from being picked at and looked and adored and the like over time. But with a rough guess, I mean, maybe it would line up with the timeline. You've not got like a perfect grasp of how old it is, because, I mean, it could literally be anything. I mean, look at your party, most of you are weirdly aged. But you assume, with what you learn, it could be real. Like, you don't have a forgery kit or anything to go off of, but the age, it looks weathered enough. It could have been painted at the exact moment.
But she's been living a fake life long enough as well. How old? Like, yeah, because you were super vague about the painting of Ishi as well. From like a billion years
Yeah.
ago.
The painting from Ishi, I don't know how old that is, but he looked young in it.
Yeah, and
Younger than she could remember. Which means that painting would be like... But again, I don't know which version of Ishi that is. Is it first life Ishi or second life Ishi? Because his second life lived into... His first life lived into my second life, it seems like.
Connor, you're very
This
quiet.
is the problem, it's all fake.
Well, Connor made a good point. It is a thing. Anessa does have legend lore.
So could she do that with the object?
Mm-hmm.
I ask Anessa to do that whilst we're walking. Subtly.
Yeah, I said to slap some of it as I was walking into the bathroom and washed my hands, so that's why it was distant.
So, let me just read the thing real quick. Exploring the amount of brief something of this significant lore about the thing you named. Lore might consist of stories, blah blah blah. If the thing you named isn't of legendary importance, you get no information.
Oh, so it won't work because it's not legendary.
Not technically, no. So we don't
Damn it.
have to do that.
That's fine.
My research background wouldn't work either. It's all
I'll
about,
just-
Yeah, not technically with this.
I'll just tuck it back into my thing and keep on walking then.
Okay.
like it's not definitely fake.
It
It's
looks
also
looks about the right age. But
considering we now know that they didn't go to the Fighters Guild together, that in itself causes a problem.
so, as you guys walk toward the mansion, you see in that square. Oh well, actually, to be fair, as you guys get to the upper city, you and Riel Kier have to separate because Lupillers is literally at the top of the fucking mountain. He lives alongside the walls themselves, so they have a longer journey to get to than you guys do.
Do we have anything that we can send with them to prove that we
Yeah.
sent them?
I was gonna say I don't know anything.
Not to do.
Can one of us message him?
I was going to say not to do a be all end all, but Anessa can do sending.
Get an message and send him a sending, just saying we're sending two of our friends up there in a predicament. Help them if you can, please.
Okay. Bippity boppity.
Maybe
dash.
mention that they're also technically refugees of Alden.
Hmm.
Probably make him feel a bit more inclined to help them.
Yes. Let me just make sure it's the right spell slot I'm taking off. Boody boop. Okay. So she'll spend a couple of minutes doing that as you guys are saying your farewells to Kieran and Riel. Is there anything specific you want to say? Or is it just you let it be and move on your way?
We'll just give him a heads up about how the sister can be quite abrasive.
Yep.
But that Lupilla's nice and Lupilla will help if he can, and that if they need to contact us, they can always get someone to send us a message, I guess.
I'd like to mention about the kind of refugee colony they've got going for Alden and how they are planning on trying to rebuild it at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Freed would welcome them if they did want to return there, but that he's not particularly demanding their presence or expecting them to go back.
I think I can think of anything else we need to tell them.
You could express your feelings.
We want to know where the scythe is.
No!
Oh, he absolutely would just blurt that out. I know he would.
I'm gonna give him one of those looks, you know, like a parent gives a child when they say something really rude in front of another adult.
I ignore it.
Of course you do.
Like, last we saw, you had it. So where did you put it?
You see, they kind of look at each other for a second. Anriel looks over at you. Speaking of abrasive, we left it somewhere safe while Kia is feeling unwell. We don't...
So it's in the city still.
Maybe.
For any random person to pick up.
Well, I
You're
mean...
genius.
But if they pick it up, they can't do anything because it's already bound to someone.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And who else has a weapon that's bound to them right now? Pretty much
But-
all of us. So,
Exactly, so I don't know why you're making a big deal out of this.
well, I'd want to know where it is, and if someone just walks off with it,
No, don't worry. It can be transported back to me like a flick of a finger, really. Not to mention it.
good for you.
It's sort of, well, you should already really know. It's kind of He kind of tilts his head a little bit as if to say it's
dangerous.
Well, yeah.
Yes, it is quite dangerous.
I've left it somewhere that no one will find it. You can, for what little your pretense of concern is, no one's going to touch it.
Oh, I have no concern, just a dislike of yourself.
Oh, hey, don't worry, it's very mutual.
Do we know why he dislikes them? Or like, has Trafalgar ever said why he dislikes them, or is this just like a general dislike?
I was gonna say, I just assumed he dislikes 99% of people.
Because he didn't get.
He's never told you, but you can assume it's because Lycoris is friendlier with them than she is with anybody else in the world. and we've been through more together.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to be attached to people that you have no risk of having to be with all the time, I guess.
But yeah, we're gonna go now. The negative energy is really not good.
They could just feel the rage emanating off of Lycoris.
We
They've
don't
already
like
become
vibe.
city people.
Well, so all due respect, we're gonna go. I'm not gonna lie, going back to Walden does sound like a good plan. When they recreate it or whatever they're doing, we'll probably take our jobs back, because I don't know about Kier, but I enjoyed it. It was kind of peaceful before all, and then he just kind of waves his hand and looks around. All this shit. And you lot keep in trouble as you do. You seem to make things better, and despite all of, and then he points to Trafalgar, kind of like waving his hand toward him, despite all that negative, angsty stuff, you're all working together, and you keep each other's, I don't know, spirits good. He turns around and looks at Kier. I'm really flailing here. Please, can we go?
I give him a look of sympathy and a pat on the back. Like, I'm sorry for Trafalgar.
Kier kind of pushes his glasses up a little bit, kind of motions to leave. Yeah, we're gonna go. You lot stay alive. Try not to cause any apocalypses.
Again.
And I better see all of you alive and healthy, with your buddy Rewan. Next time. I give off a vibe. They begin to walk opposite directions as you guys walk toward the manor. But speaking of Brewin again, as you spend a couple of hours in the bar, sat with your new friend, trying to find the name because I'm fucking dying in here.
Lance?
Thank you. And Merrick.
And Merrick?
Yep, don't worry, I didn't forget his name. You're enjoying some drinks.
Just in case.
Your drinks are given freely. Merrick pays for his and Lance's. As about an hour or so goes by, Merrick is keeping his focus, seemingly, as he drinks even heartier drinks. He has this big old mug that's about the size of his head in comparison. Lance is kind of like gently sipping what looks to be a very delicate wine of some kind, a red. And you kind of just have whatever you so desire. The same drink that she's been serving, or you can have anything else, really. This place.
What else does she have?
She has assortments of rum, quite a vast assortment of rum.
Nice.
Light ales. She serves fire wine, but other than that, she serves one single red, and that is what Lance is currently sipping on.
Fair enough. I will switch up a little bit to rum, but I'll be savouring it as I'm drinking it though.
So, as you all enjoy some drinks, you start to play some cards at some point. A couple of the people switch out and around. Some new folk walk in, some walk out. You get a piece of chicken from the barkeep that just kind of like nods to you as it's brought over toward you. You, Lance, and Merrick each have a piece and kind of just take a bite down, and it's well seasoned, and even before it touched your lips, there's a bit of an instinct to begin drooling. So you take little nibbles out of it. You hear a couple of people speaking about how the mines have become a little bit perilous as of late. Not because of any creatures, but more so just because they're becoming less stable. They're digging further and further into the side of the mountain, and the support beams are not as strong or as useful, and the work crews are getting younger and younger and less experienced, and no one's teaching them the safe ways to do things. And you're kind of like passively just listening, really, as you talk with Lance and Merrick. And is there anything else you want to say or do? About an hour and a half would have gone by this point, maybe 2, as you just pass it away with comrades.
Yeah. I'm going to be a little bit quiet, but I'm just going to be having my thoughts on just the general events that have occurred, and just the more or less flicker in between the last time I was alive as Breewin, and then also just partly trying to piece together thoughts and ideas of how to, well, present myself more or less to the public masses. But it's a bit troubling because it's a constant back and forth thought pattern, because it's kind of like, when I was alive I was doing this is what happened. Did we win? I want to assume we did. I sacrificed, well, I kind of died, but I'm kind of hoping that gave us the edge to triumph, hopefully. And then it's like, I sort of like look around and I'm like, well, I shouldn't be thinking about that as much. How am I going to go about blending in without coming across too odd? So far the barkeeper hasn't really noticed my mannerisms as much, hopefully. But I'm just more or less deep in thought and just looking to myself, and occasionally I'm still on that same bit of first piece of chicken leg that I picked off, and I'm just very slowly eating it, very slowly, compared to the fact of how good it is.
So you're just falling into those thoughts. You kind of hear the sound of something in the distance. What sounded like a scream at first. A couple of the patrons in the bar kind of like look confused for a second. You see as the bartender Vash just very slowly like walks out toward the door, kind of like looks around curiously, pokes her head around. Oh, pardon me. She kind of like hangs around the doorframe, looking confused at first, and then she says, "What in the fuck is that thing?" And
do I notice her get up
easily
and go for it? I sort of point a quick glare / a look to Merrick.
He immediately turns and looks, places his ale down, and you see very quickly he takes a deep breath, and you see his eyes kind of not glaze exactly, but he seems to hit this focus point, and he pulls a large battle axe from his back, concealed with what looks to be a series of old and slightly worn bits of fabric. Some of the people in the bar look a bit confused and concerned for a second as he does that, as he slowly pulls himself up.
I turn to Lars as Mac is getting up and he's got his battle axe out. Lars, in this village, is there like shelters or anything, or anywhere that people can gather and hide?
Kind of raises an eyebrow, and there is a bit of an anxiety behind his eyes.
I sort of raise up out of my seat slightly, put a hand on his shoulder, and just say, in this point in time, I'm going to need you to be confident, put your knowledge to your use, dig deep, and if the worst comes to worse, I'm going to need you to help evacuate people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need you to hide yourself.
As you say, I need your help evacuate people. You hear the sounds of cries in the distance, of screams, full guttural screams, as in the distance a sudden heat wave burns through the village, and there is this surge of hot, bright white, red and orange of light. You can't see it directly, but you can see it from the door frame, just about, this flash. And people screaming a blood-curdling cry.
I look to Lance and I say, I think now is your time. I speak up quite loudly. I clear my throat and I go, right, everybody. If there's an evacuation point, you need to go to it right here, right now. If any houses have any cellars, you need to hide in it. You need to evacuate out of here, right now. Grab everyone you can and find safety and shelter.
Let's have an initiative, please. As you say that, Lance is looking up at you, at the face of, oh damn, someone new, but there's also that look of familiarity as he looks at you. He's seeing parts of the person whose face you've taken on, and he nods, and he immediately stands up, looks toward everyone, and starts to go, come on, everybody, this way, quickly, come on, no dilly-dallying. Good old Merrick over there. It's 0 initiative, of course. I'm gonna do a flat one for soldiers and the like. I'm assuming you're probably going to go first, so you can do your turn if you'd like, as I'm doing an initiative.
Okay. Okay, I'm assuming I'm starting in the bar still.
Yes.
Right. Do. I'm gonna move over here. And as I go through the door and I come out here to sort of look around, and I just say, well, actually I'll go here because I have 10 more. I'll just go by and I'll just say, what's happening? Where has it just come from?
She's looking out, and there's this look on her face that shows a degree of stoicism, but also, for a second, something breaks as you realise her eyes are focused dead forward. She doesn't say anything to you. She's stuck in fear, As she looks ahead, you see ahead of you a very huge devil, surrounded by a series of smaller imps. Beneath him, he's slowly pulling himself out of what looks to be a large fiery pit. A ball of fire, essentially, that's burning the flat grounds around him, and he's slowly pulling himself up and out of it. And you see his the neck's like cracking. This body, large in scale and very heavily muscular. Two ginormous horns, what looks to be like some degrees of wings slowly unfolding out.
I sort of look to Merrick and just say, you know what you're saying about you've never encountered demons? There's a first for everything, mate.
Always with you, ain't it? New
Of
experiences.
Which, that Brewin's gonna sprout his wings out, radiant so.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to fly up 10 feet. Okay. How tall is that house in front of me?
That would be 10 feet.
Yeah. Am I just about being able to look over it, or do I need to rewrite?
Oh, no, you can just about see over it. You can see over...
Would I be able to see that one?
You would not be able to see that one.
That's fair enough. That's fine with me then.
You can see all the other ones over there, though.
I sort of, as I'm about to take off, I sort of look to Merrick. Be ready for everything, but I don't need to tell you this. And get her moving.
Shut up and just kill something, flyboy.
I sort of like tut under my breath as I fly up. And I am going to do what have I got again? Here. Right. Okay. Right, on that one there, bear with me, I just want to double check that I have done things as well correctly. Okay. Oh damn, I have not updated this in a while. Depends will be... yeah. Pardon me. That'll do. Get just tonight. Yeah, I've updated that. Nice. Right, yeah. Okay, I would like to use Chill Touch on that one.
Okay. That hits, of course.
And I'll also be adding my radiant damage on that one as well.
Okay. So that is 10?
Yeah, 10.
Okay. So, yeah. You see as the big boy over there suddenly just explodes, pretty much. As you cast the spell over, it's not the chill touch itself that kills it. You notice as the hand grasps toward the creature, grasps around it. The hand itself is almost as big as the creature. As it grasps it, you see it suffering, but then as this radiance creeps around the hand, the creature just is destroyed by the hand as it grasps through it with the radiance on top. You see as the imp bursts into flames. Is that you?
That would be me.
Okay. So the imps, they with their stingers, you notice very quickly they manage to kill the knight in the distance. As they're flying around it, circling him, you see the stingers impale through the armour and jab into his back, and one jab into the neck, and very quickly the knight just crumbles to the ground. You see the pair as they're looking down at him, they're just snickering to themselves, laughing.
More rage.
After that occurs, they are going to fly over very swiftly.
Fired that. Who was that fire missile? That cluster missile.
This lady inside the house, you hear the sounds of her dying breath as a stinger pierces into her neck. You just hear her screaming, and it's very quickly shunted as her body hits the ground. In the distance, unfortunately, a similar circumstance as they enjoy the sport of the chase. Cries start to be heard all throughout the town as these imps go flying, hunting for fresh prey. Merrick. He's with his axe over his shoulder. He's looking forward, his head shaking a little. He's not wasting a single second. Let me just make sure how much exact movement he has. He can only get this far. He is going to immediately rage. And after doing that, slamming his fist down into the ground, releases this bellowing cry of frustration and hatred. He looks forward, his eyes focused. And he's gonna grab from his side one arm, pressing it against the side, holding it tight. He's gonna fire his silver heavy crossbow at the imp in front of him. Big damage. That should have been turned on, but it will focus next time. So, fires forward. You see as the shot is flying toward the imp, but first there's this little cackling from it as it sees him pulling up a crossbow. But as he loads and fires it, it flies into the creature and you see it falls towards the ground. Not dead, but it gets struck heavily. The creature seemed to be under an assumption that it wasn't going to do as much as it believed. But it pierced straight through and out the other side, and the creature's flapping, just looking over toward him, screeches toward him. He is then going to fire another one at it. And he was crossbow expert. Pew! And as the creature's like flapping down, another bolt goes flying and just skewers the thing. As it is destroyed, it turns into a plume of smoke and disappears. Not on my fucking watch! As the demon's turn comes around, telepathically, you, Merrick, even Lance, all hear, I have come under order of my king. This town shall become a shell. Your lives are forfeit. You will become soldiers, imps. You will be sent into the pit. You will be bathed in hellfire. And you will breed the next wave of our ken. I look forward to this. Burn! And he's going to throw his hand forward. As he throws his hand forward, he is going to cast the ability Draw Forth the Pit. A vast wave of fire emanates outward from it, up to 300 feet away. So specifically, it's going to go from him all the way across the map, burning everything in the way.
In that straight line?
In that straight line. A massive plume of fire going straight through everything. You see as he aims his hand forward, from the fires underneath him that he's still slightly submerged into, he's slowly picking himself out of. He guides his hand forward, and you see as the flames drawing out of this transportation circle of some kind pour a large wave of fire upwards, slowly at first. It goes starts to raise, and as he finishes his sentence, throws his hand forward, and just this vast scorching ray flies, incinerating everything, going through walls, going through objects, burning houses, people, everything. I need...
Okay, I'm stressed.
I need this.
This has to happen when I'm split up from everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on our decision, we might get there sooner than you expect.
Yes.
Maybe.
Let's go somewhere else. Everyone's fine.
Yeah, to be
In
fair,
our-
they don't know your
Fighting
problems.
off
In our defense,
fighting off
we don't
demon
expect
lords.
we don't expect demon lords, okay? We've just dealt with one big
Expect the
battle.
Unexpected. I'm a cinnamon roll boy. I need my friend.
So, as the line of fire emerges and incinerates a whole fuck ton of boys and girls.
Not the boys and girls.
All the boys and girls. As they're... It's almost within barely a second of the fire shooting forward like a ray, incinerating tons of common folk. The moment that they're incinerated and their bodies destroyed, as the ashes begin to fall,
Do it.
they set ablaze and summon more children. More imps for the cause.
Why? Isn't it not enough to kill them?
Nope. They need an army.
They don't.
Oh yeah, they do.
Why can't they go to SeaWorld or something?
Come,
Get
Well,
off
we
dolphins!
laid low for a while we were looking.
Yeah.
Like,
Can't
come
you just
on.
do something unproblematic? Go live in a farm in the countryside, and we'd have come and found you. But
It's a
no.
nice wife. You could have just led a simple life.
To be fair, regardless of what Brewin did,
wasn't here.
I said last week to him, obviously it was between me and him, but I said he got a prophetic vision of this happening, and he could either be there, or it will happen regardless, and you can be involved and try to stop it, or everybody dies. So he is here doing the thing that he rightfully has been egged on to do by his teacher, and believes he should be doing.
And somewhere in the distance, Trafalgar's like, "What a fucking idiot! This is not agreed."
We're all there like, this can't be worse than what we've left, right? Right?
Brewin's probably fine. Yeah, we'll find him. He'll be different, but it'll be a nice change.
Yeah, he'll be different.
Meanwhile-
He'll be in a brothel having fun somewhere, not
Yeah.
fighting a fucking demon army.
Meanwhile, infernal hell breaks loose on a small village, and it's hellfire everywhere. And Brewin's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And all you're hearing is just bleep out.
In the distance, we're just sipping tea at Lady Devane's house. Like,
Yes, mother,
Quite.
this tea, quite wonderful. Can I take some with me?
You're still a bitch, but this tea is divine.
you're a bitch, but the tea is worth it. Yes, yes, quite.
So, for what small luck it is,
At
this
least I have you.
fire caused quite an uproar very quickly.
Should have fucking hoped so.
Everyone is
If that happened,
running.
and everyone's like, "Oh, what was that?"
Again?
They're like, "Oh God, it's Tuesday, isn't it? I should have gotten my fire insurance, but I didn't."
Now they're gonna say it's an act of God and I'll get nothing.
An act of Satan.
In our defense, We don't know any of this is going on. We're just
Nope.
living our lives, okay?
So,
Kind of.
as a majority of the remainder of the populace of Urda tries to escape, Lance is guiding the ones that are down in the bar with you towards a safer zone than this. Elsewhere across the map, they are going to have a time. Lance, of course, will go alongside them. He's running alongside them. As he's looking back towards you, you notice that the bartender Vash is legitimately frozen in fear. Lance quickly comes running back, full double movement toward your side, looks at Vash and says, "Come on, we've got to go. This isn't something we can deal with. Are you okay?" And she's like not staring at him. She's looking forward toward the creature, and she slowly moves her hand up to her eye, and she gently rubs underneath her eye, and she turns around, looks at you and Lance. I heard that, and her face is just like shook. She can't even finish a sentence, and Lance just steps forward, kind of like takes her hand by force, just goes, "Come on, let's go."
Bruin's just going to very uncharacteristically look at her and just shout, Get moving!"
Make a quick intimidation check. With advantage, since she's already literally frightened. Okay. So, she's even more scared, though it's no longer about the thing, it's you. And with that, assisted by Lance, they very quickly rejoin the group. Ruin. As the rest
Takes
of...
a deep breath.
As you feel the heat, the intensity, you can't even see it that well from here, from the doorway. There's just this line of bright light, this stream of fire melting houses. You hear the sounds of them collapsing in the distance, and screams across the village. What do you do?
I'm going to fly up 10 more feet higher, and summon the fracture of stars,
Okay.
the sunderer of cosmos, the stars.
Okay, so you flick your hand, it appears immediately. You grasp. What do you do?
And oh, okay. And me.
As you
Yeah, sorry, I
summon,
was just
as you summon
yeah,
the
carry
spear
on.
to your hand, you feel the pulsating energy coming off of it as per normal, but this time, as it's summoned to your hand, in this circumstance, you feel as the spear's shaking in your hand. It's not out of fear, and it's not some false second emotion that you feel. The spear is in anticipation. This is one of these things. This situation is what it's for. It anticipates destroying evil, removing monsters like this. What do you do?
Let's see, I just want to quickly have a little gallivant about things. Right, let's zoom this out a little bit. As I've gone up 10 more feet, am I over this little area here?
Yes, just barely.
I'll go up 5 more feet just to clear that little edge.
Yep, as you do, you can see the entirety of the village. Everything is chaos.
So for the sake of helping, let's see. So it will be that. I could do that. So I'll make up to 4. I'm going to cast magic missile. At 2nd level.
Okay.
So that'll be 4 targets.
Yep.
And my targets are going to be as following. Pretty much the 4 within radius there, closest to. Actually, you know what? Stuff it. I'm going to do those 3 over there, and I'm going to do that one there.
Okay.
Just out of spite, because fuck that guy. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Because fuck that guy.
So roll your first d4.
Bear with me, I think I've actually got it as a thing. Here we are.
Nice. Do you want to re-roll all of them, or use that for all of them?
Yes, re-rolling all of them. So
Okay.
3 more times. 1, 2, 3.
Jeez!
Oh.
Okay. So where would you like the 2 to go?
The 2 will go at that one.
Okay. And 4 for the rest. So, Pippidums, Bapidums. So, as the beautiful gold sparrows, as you cast the spell and they appear before you, each of your sparrows now seem to have this almost like ring that's around them as they appear, and what looks to be like a series of small stars circling that ring as they fly toward their target. It's just a visual change. As each of the imps are hit, the one at the bottom here immediately knows it's you as it's looking to go toward you anyway, and it just kind of like hisses with fangs toward you. The 3 at the top by the long stream of fire, they're looking around, and one of them do catch sight of you and they point toward you. The other 2 looking toward you kind of raise their stingers ready, but then they look toward the knights below instead. Is that you?
Not entirely. Because if I remember correctly, Radiance.
It's only if you cast. Radiance is just with the spirit self.
Well, technically, I did cast the magic missile.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, sorry. I was looking at normal radiance. Not normal. Radiance plus. Yeah. It adds a d8 to the total, which technically for this does count. So if you want to roll
it says any damage rolls.
Yes.
So I shall roll that 1d8.
Yes.
And with the 2, I'm adding the feature that comes with my Radiant Soul, which would be my level with that damage. So 10 to the 2.
Yes, and that imp has exploded.
Yep, so another 4 to those ones up there.
Yes. Okay, so as each of them take more damage, they're each still barely alive, but you notice the radiant scorching across their forms. Is that you?
That will be me.
Okay. The imps. Two of the imps immediately going to fly toward the guard. The other imp over here is going to fly toward you. There we go. So it ends it there after an extensive flight. One imp is going to fly toward Merrick. The others I've already moved a little bit. This one is going to fly out. One of the guards is stung to death. Merrick will get a juicy sting attack. Ooh, baby, a lot of damage. So Merrick has to make a cons save. I'll put it to public because no reason not to. And he succeeds. So we'll take a handful of Damage. And as he's stung by the creature as it's flying toward him, he's shooting bolts toward it to try to distract it and keep it away, but the creature swipes the stinger along his neck. And you see he kind of winces for a second, but he swings like a hammer his crossbow to it. Those are the impulse, because I already moved them. And Merrick is going to bap it with his battle axe. Which, ignore the 5, but it still hits. And he just, yeah, it's a magical weapon. Yeah, swings and cleaves the creature in two. Drops his crossbow, swings, cleaves it. And then he's looking ahead at the big demon itself. Boy, what do you reckon our chances?
Well, the chances of the degree of where I was wanting to leave earlier. But there's a chance.
Like I said then, I didn't raise no child that wouldn't fight for the right cause. And fighting for the innocent is that cause.
Of course, I'm just giving you the honest answer, mate.
And he's gonna begin moving forward. Has his crossbow picked up, puts battle axe on his back, and immediately shoots towards the big boy. Oh, baby. So, bippity boppity. Similar to the imps at first, the creature looking forward sees another ant in its way, and it's just like raising its hand up to block the projectile, but it pierces straight through his palm. And the creature looks at his palm as it pierces. I see. Perhaps someone warned them after all. These insects think they're better than us. You will learn your place. Aye, and you can go fuck yourself, you giant red prick. He's gonna load his crossbow ready for the next shot. And Big Boy Red is gonna, of course, do the thing where he hits people. He's gonna step forward. He doesn't even need to get that close. He's going to flame brand our dear boy there. Twice. Ooh, mama. As he's stepping forward, you can see from below the footprints he's making is leaving indents in the ground, but also a series of flames emitting from the palms of his, from the soles of his foot. As he steps forward, he's throwing his hand forward, and you see these motes of fire appear out of thin air and slam towards Merrick. The first one he narrowly avoids getting completely slammed by it, but he still gets hit by the flames and it burns across his skin, and you notice it cauterizes very quickly, but he loses this chunk of flesh. It seems the attacks are causing a brutal ongoing effect of some kind. Go and make a note of something real bad. And then the second one is the fire's going forward and he's just barely putting out the fire from the original one. This next flame is like a fireball on its own and slams into Merrick, knocking him back like 20 feet into the wall. And you just hear this heavy grunt come from him, and you see these series of flames lighting up the ground in front of Merrick. And that will be Big Boy's turn. The knight takes out one of the imps that you had knocked about quite a bit, and then another one, and tries to keep everything else ready. The survivors are going to run for their lives as they are being chased to the ends of existence. Those lot managed to escape the map, thanks in part to your timely intervention. It is your turn. You heard a painful grunt coming from Merrick. What do you want to do?
I'm just gonna double check something here. Someone just produced.
It was the bot.
Twice.
Fine.
Fuck's sake.
She's touching me. I'm not touching you. You're touching me.
The fuck is going on outside?
Everyone's dying.
No, I'm talking about outside.
I know.
My house. Seeing someone shouting, I'm like, I know I'm fighting in D&D, but
Okay,
what's
Megan.
going on outside my window?
Everybody take her back to Megan. She is going.
Bye, Megan.
Goodbye,
Goodbye.
Megan.
Try not to die if you can.
Bye.
Wow.
Big ask.
Thank you. Thank you for your moral support.
I believe in you.
I prefer actual support, but hey, I'll get what I can get.
I said I'd like you not to die.
So,
What more can I ask?
for the last sake of context for you guys, as before you leave, then all I'll say is you guys get to the manor, but in the centre, that centre that leads to the little garden in the middle, and you got all the houses on the opposite ends. You see a large skyship floating above it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's your vessel. You're welcome.
Right.
Connor.
Good luck against the demon lord. I believe in you.
Okay, right.
Night night.
Bye.
Bye.
So how far is that? Oh, what the fuck have I done here? Right, so that is there. Here. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right. Lee! You're so mean.
What? I didn't do anything.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't do shit.
You made the demon appear.
I made a demon appear.
So, how much range have I got? Let's see. Right. Okay, I really need to think here. If I, for instance, that, so that would be here. For God's sake. Okay. Right. I am going to fly off here. I am going to, first of all, ask your cancelling on this, because I know this can definitely in range of one person, but the other thing I would like to very much ask is mass healing word.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to be in range of that guy, considering I'm 25 feet above the floor, and it's a range of 60 feet?
Hold on. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, thank God. Well, I would like to use Mass Healing Word, which is a bonus action. I would like to both heal Merrick and the guard, so
Okay.
I shall put that up.
Roll your shit.
And I'm now going to roll my shizzle. Yep.
Why is that not playing? So just trying to get things working. There we go. Fucking found me. Very nice. Fucking jeez. Cool. From what little you can tell, the guy at the back there now is fully healed. He looks surprised at first, but you see very quickly he adapts, realizing these flying fuckers are still all over him. You can't exactly see his face, but you can tell he's overwhelmed. As you give Merrick some more juicy healing, he still looks worse for wear. He has large scorch marks along his flesh that don't look like they're going to heal well.
Well, I am then going to use Magic Missile once again, also again at second level.
Mm-hmm.
So, bosh, and then I'm going to. Where is it again? Ah, here we go. Lovely.
Very nice.
And I'll use that for all of them, and I shall roll 1d8. And right, my targets are as follow. The first one is going straight for him. The other two are going for them. Around the night.
So that one goes boom. And that one goes boom. You have one more.
And then my personal favourite, my fourth one, is going straight at him with my 10 radiant damage on top.
Okay.
Because fuck that guy. Well, fuck that demon.
So, as you pull the power deep from within, the radiance bursting from your wings channels into your palms. You cast your sparrows, and as they fly towards their targets, they streak towards them and destroy them on impact. You see scattering into ashes almost. Each of the imps just... There's not really much left of them. Him, however, as it hits him, he does kind of recoil back a little bit. And then you see as the neck clicks a little. As his head looks around and then up towards you with the brilliant radiance you're exuding, the smile that creeps around his face leads a awful shiver down your back. Is that you?
Unfortunately, that will be me.
Okay. So the imps are still about, and they are going to continue to sting. Two more feel the unfortunate sting. They go fluttering over. Two more get the sting. Luckily, however, they only get stung. They do not get converted. Yet. Make sure there's no more imps. Yeah, Merrick, looking forward, he's like trying to stand. He slowly does. Gets up on his feet. Boy, forget what I said. They're all good now. Run! And he's gonna stand up and start shooting the shit out of the devil. Pew and pew. He gets a d8 on each of those. I forgot to add that. Terrible, but fitting. So as he draws, still pressed against the wall, he's only like still holding himself up against it, and goes shooting the bolts toward the creature. You see as the creature moves his hand, swats them. It still takes damage, but he's essentially swatting these arrows out of the air. Pitiful gnat! You step in the way of my quest. That is Merrick's turn as he stays in place. The creature is going to step forward, closer toward Merrick, look up toward you. I will take his soul and present it as a present. I'm not sure why, in this form, you still exist. But Master will certainly be pleased to know you still do exist. Little Brewin. And he is...
As he says Little Ruin and he goes to look down at Merrick, I just look at him and I just go, I suppose everything is small compared to a big oaf like you, mate.
Ed looks back up for a second. A wide grin. You see the mouth split long. And fire looks to be like cinders and hellfire at the back of its throat gather. I'm going to enjoy watching him burn. And he's gonna do a whole flame at you. Ooh, that does not hit. Draws his hand back and puts it deep into his throat, pulls out what looks to be a ball of fire and throws it toward you. Its fire's wide, and you dodge it with quite a deftness, and the heat coming from it, just from it passing by you, is enough to leave skin-crawling sensations. After doing that, it seems like it was more of a distraction, as he then... all you hear is the sound of two slams as his fist rains down towards jeez, down towards Merrick. You hear a large cough, a groan, a gasp, and you see as the building starts to collapse downwards toward where Merrick is, and you see as a large chunk of the building covers over the top of him, and he is swallowed up by a side of the building as these fires start to rage around the front of it as well. I don't know why it's not showing as an animated, but as it covers the front of the building and you look down after the flame passing by, the demon is looking directly up at you into your eyes. It's not too late to give in once more. Return to the apex where you belong. Devils and angels working alongside. Think about it. It is what we're destined for. Bring back the gods, you foolish child. And I will allow you the soul of this man as you desire. You'll join, won't you?
I sort of look to him with cross-armed and I just say, Demon, please. You speak nothing but lies. You all do. It's a really, really uncanny trait you all share. And to be honest, it pisses me off.
He shrugs,
I'm
leans
fed up
forward.
with running.
Leans forward with a little bit of a bow. Then you'll run no longer, as I eat your legs, and then destroy your friend. Hair by hair, nail by nail, finger by finger, I will devour him.
And I'll watch as you despair like a little child, as I'm about to smite you down.
We'll see who dies first, me or him. The knight's taking this opportunity, seeing all the creatures gone. I mean, frankly, he's not gonna take up that fight. He's gonna leave.
That's fun.
It's your turn.
I would like to do Guardian of Faith.
Nice.
And I'll pop it there.
Currently, I do not have anything that decent, so here, have a mage hand.
That's fair. But for flair, I'll describe it. It's a hooded figure with some form of plate armor on, angelic wings folded around its front, and it has a sword and shield.
Nice. So as it appears, staring up towards the devil, you see for a moment its eyes do kind of like shut as it's looking away from the light. Is that you?
I'm just double checking something. Let's see. Shots. Yeah, I'm just checking over my spells quickly. What can I do here?
Rachel and Double A Ron.
Mm.
We will be finishing soon. What do you two want in regards to where you are on the map? Do you do when you see the skyship and of course your mother standing direct center in front of a long ladder that's been dropped down from it?
I'm gonna just go to the house. Wherever the mother is.
Oh no,
and
she's
Ishgari
directly
is.
in front of the ship.
Oh. I guess I'll go to the mother.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I might know what I want to do.
Okay.
How far is... Oh, that's not that far at all. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try and play something off here.
Okay.
Within 10 feet away of where I currently am and 20 feet upwards, I would like to project this, but with a sound.
It's an action.
Oh, bollocks. Yeah, ignore that. Yeah, ignore it. I just remembered I was looking for bonus action swings, and I was like, oh, great, a minute's like, oh, wait.
Wait.
It's an action as well.
I'm looking at spells to see if concentration or an action. Well, I'll say
Okay.
for the sake of
Hex.
for the sake of sanity, after this turn we shall end as you are.
I am hexing the big boy.
Okay, what do you hex?
Okay. I'm going to hex him. And I am going to choose... I'm going to choose Dex.
Okay. He is dex hexed.
Yep. And if I remember right... This may sound really stupid, but I want to ask. Even though it is worded saying within 10 feet, does he have to move right at this point in order to be affected by the Guardian of Faith?
He has to move. He's currently in the range of the Guardian of Faith. If he doesn't move, he doesn't take any damage.
Okay.
But the second he does move, poof.
That's fine. Okay. For the... Oh, fuck's sake. You really are not giving me much options here, are you?
Hey, you have spells. I don't have to give you any options.
I know you don't, but...
I gave you a situation, you deal with it.
The fact you're giving me lack of things to do in the situations...
Hey, I haven't given you a lack of anything. You can do whatever the fuck you want. I will do what I have to do with my character.
Good.
Is that your turn? Because that's action, bonus action.
Yeah, that'll be me.
Okay, then we will resolve the imps and leave it there on Merrick. On maybe a final turn. Yeah. As a couple of the imps disappear off to chase poor unfortunate runaways, the rest will come back down to play with you.
Of course I will.
Oh yes.
Oh.
So that'll be that.
Oh.
Just on a side note, he is. Oh wow, why is that not working? That's rude. For some reason, the entirety of the screen. Anytime I open something, I've got two versions of. Oh, is it broken? Oh, it's broken. I had two versions of Atlesia open, and at some point, the one I had for stream got broken. So I tried to open literally any sheets, and it just had everything in like blocky chunks, and made no sense. So, but the name of the demon is called the Emissary of Gathering. Hence why he can do crazy shit and summon imps. Well, convert people into imps.
Oh boy.
He is not your main antagonist. He is just a general.
I know it. I know this. You've highlighted this several times.
Oh yes. Not to mention, your big bad will be a lot worse. And far more irritating.
Really? I didn't quite, get that vibe, considering how annoying this guy is.
Oh god. That'll be that, yeah. We'll see if Merrick survives, if you finish off Big Boy next time, and if the others can get to you in time.
In time? They ain't getting shit.
I mean, I suppose we'll see.
If I'm measuring up the timelines correctly, and if I'm thinking practically here, things are not going to be achieved until the aftermath.
We'll see. I might get lucky.
I'm on my second character, I ain't getting lucky at all.
I mean, technically you're still on your first.
On a technicality, I'm on my third.
Are you? Oh, I mean, wait. No, wait.
Because you gave me a side character to play, so I'm counting that.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Like I said, on a technicality.
And I mean, I guess technically, you did play Brewin, then you played Wingo, and now you're playing a second life of Brewin. So, all right, I'll concede.
Sweet life of Cliff and Brewin.
Sweet life of Cliff and the Lance.
But even though it's more Brewin and Cliff. In the non-sexual way.
Oh. Well, I mean, you would be fucking yourself, so.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be
It'd be like that clay pot scene in the Ghost movie.
Oh god. I had to think about it for a second, but I was like, oh yeah, that. Oh, right, I've really got to go for a pee, so I'm going to leave now.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Depending on who's available next week, when, what, why, where, we'll talk about it more in chat. We'll either play this or we'll play Avernus. It's kind of up in the air. Whoever's available.
Well, there is one thing I would like to say.
What?
Hello, Aaron. It's good hearing from you again.
He's secretly asleep at his desk.
Yeah,
Maybe I should call his mother.
I now feel kind of sad.
Well, I gotta go.
I guarantee he's